Welcome to another edition of the Tristan and Alex Show, or as he prefers, the Historyologist podcast. I'm your host, Tristan, and this is Alex. And I have no idea what we're talking about today. So spin me a yarn.
Well, I'd originally had this as in my head. It was going to be one, but I think it probably should be 3 episodes now. So
Yep.
the thing I wanted to talk about, as you probably are aware, old mate Charlie Kirk got popped off. It's about a month ago now.
Yeah, about that. Getting close.
So he
I'm all fizzed up about it. Not happy. Not happy at all. And I've stopped looking at Facebook completely because there's a lot of people that I haven't spoken to in 10 years, but they're sort of jumping up and down and saying it's a good thing, and I think that's kind of gross.
Yeah, well, I wasn't going to get into the politics of it because I know you're fizzed up.
I'm fizzed.
I don't want to fizz you up. I don't want to fizz you up if I can avoid it.
Yeah. Start talking about Africa time again. Something on the internet has upset me. I'm going to talk about it.
But obviously, old mate was killed.
Yep.
Assassinated, murdered.
Yep. Blown away, sent to paradise.
Yeah, maybe we shouldn't have drank so many beers before this, but
jeez.
the three things that I was going to do in one, but I think we'll break it up into three.
Yeah.
I just thought it was obviously there's a lot being spoken about, and there's different reactions from both sides of the fence.
Yeah.
But it just reminded me of a couple of times in history that I thought just were interesting times. The first, because obviously leading up to old mate Charlie Kirk getting popped off, is there's been like an increase in political violence in America, and there's been tensions and sort of a splitting of the body politic into different factions and all that.
The left and right are disagreeing again.
Oh no. Those damn politics. Why can't we all just get along?
It's that simple. If only everyone agreed with me.
But the three parallels. Now, obviously, they're not exact parallels. And being a historyologist, it's just the thinnest of thread that I'm tugging on here. But the three were...
It's a bit of fishing wire.
Number one, which we'll do this episode, the sort of the lead up to the decline of the Roman Empire.
Yeah.
Second is the fall of the Roman Empire.
Yeah.
Which will be next episode. And then the third is the Protestant Reformation and how that relates to the fracturing of society.
As much as I love Protestantism, it's just... It is kind of... We're doing our own thing now.
Yeah. There has been an increase in political violence. So I think in June, there was a couple of senators, Democratic senators or lawmakers or whatever in... I forget the state, but they were killed supposedly by a Trump supporter, and there'd been a couple of different assassination attempts in America, and then obviously now old mate got popped off.
Which is, just before I lose this very floating train of thought, with Trump's attempted assassination attempt, and he got clipped in the ear. Our buddy, friend of the podcast, Tim, immediately. It's just like crossed arms. Nope, didn't happen.
Maybe it didn't happen.
Didn't happen. Nope, didn't happen.
So what is he? It's like the bullet got shot at Trump, and then he's like ducked down, and then had a razor blade on his finger. It got me.
Oh, I think it ranges from it was staged by someone who was aiming for the top of his earlobe, all the way to when he ducked down, he banged his ear on the table. I'm sorry if I'm misrepresenting your opinions, Tim, but
if I can look
I will.
directly at the camera, classic Tim. If you can cast your mind back, if you remember this far back to 130 BC,
It was a good year.
it was a good year. Good wine vintage. If you've got a wine from that long ago, it's a good vintage.
It's just fucking vinegar.
Yeah. It's like dried up vinegary something. But prior to that, there'd been not much. So prior to about the 130s, there'd been not much political violence
Yeah.
in Rome. It was like the Republic had kind of carried on as a republic does, you know.
Arguing a lot, but also being stable enough that people can get shit done.
There'd been elections, there'd been killings, all that's kind of. But it wasn't like people weren't getting fizzed up. They weren't getting fizzed up at Twitter posts.
I was like personally attacked, but no, fair.
And then this guy comes on the scene. His name is Tiberius Gracchus.
Yep.
And he was kind of like running on this like campaign. Today we'd call it like a populist campaign or like maybe even a socialist.
Yeah.
Because back then there was like, broadly speaking, there was this, they weren't political parties, but there was two factions in Rome. There was the Optimates and the Populares. Optimates is like the traditional
like the aristocracy, sort of elite kind of. Yeah.
And the Populares were the people.
The filthy, pantsless mob.
You know? Yeah, the bread and circus guys.
Should have said trouserless. That's
So this guy Tiberius was he was kind of running on he was trying to get elected to this position that the way that the Roman Constitution worked is this position that he got elected to and held.
Yeah.
You could kind of circumvent the Senate.
Yep.
You could take like a law that you wanted to be passed directly to the people. No one had done that before, but there's nothing stopping you from doing that.
Yep.
So he wanted to get like all this land reform where, you know, there was like these sort of mega rich people that had like just these huge estates everywhere and taken up all the land, and they, instead of employing people, they used slaves.
Look, you can knock it for its morality, but my goodness, is it cost effective?
It's kind of the ultimate capitalism. It's the terminus of capitalism, I think.
I mean, as a proud, undisputed Englishman, we have a very, very proud history of abolishing slavery, but also at the same time, all of my ancestors were indentured servants. So, kind of draw the line where you want. Yeah. It's kind of the same thing.
And so this guy Tiberius wanted to essentially break up all these huge, you know, mega landowners and give land or parcel out the land to, you know, like war veterans and the commoners, and to try and get the economy going and that kind of stuff. The Senate didn't like this, so the Senate, the Optimates.
Well, it was a sort of I don't know. Sorry to throw you under the bus, Bill Gates, but it's like the elite buying up all the farmland kind of thing. So
it's exactly like that.
Yeah.
It's exactly like that.
You know, the soldiers go out. They're promised that after they do their service, they get their own little slice of land. They do their thing, but that wasn't happening. Is that?
Yeah, kind of. Except it was. I think it was more like you had these like mega rich people that would be like, "Hey, old mate, you've got your plot of land there. It's really hard to work it, and you're not doing too well. I can buy it off you for an extortionate rate.
Yeah,
and then you don't have to worry about it, and I'll worry about it." And then the people go, "Yeah, sure, no worries." Then they buy a few slaves and get them to work.
A couple of Spartacuses. I was going to say, it's a bit mafioso, and it's a bit left of what we're talking about. But it's like, you know, Crassus buying, you know, starting the fire department and burning people's houses down to buy up the property. You know?
Yeah. Pretty much along those lines. A very mafia-like. And And so the Senate,
It's Italy.
the Senate didn't like Tiberius's campaign, and they didn't like especially that he was circumventing them and taking this legislation directly to the people,
Yeah.
who of course voted for it, because why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
And so the Senate took matters into their own hands. So you have to think, in Rome, there was no police force.
Yeah.
There was no, I think it might have been illegal to sort of enter an army under arms into like the city limits of Rome.
Well, that's the whole, the Dyer's cast, Caesar crossing the Rubicon, Delio, the sort of that river or body of water was kind of no army sort of comes it past that point because, well, then shit gets really political.
Yeah.
And the senators get a little bit concerned.
What the Senate decided to do was organize essentially a mob that was, because there was the election for the next year coming up, and Tiberius was trying to get re-elected to the same position on the same platform to sort of fulfill, his promises.
Is there also a protection element of that as well? Because while you hold that position in government, or you can't be charged for what they were trying, like the lawfare they were trying to do.
Yeah, that was part of it. If you held an official government position, you couldn't be tried for your. I don't even know if it was crimes, but people would gin them up as crimes.
Political lawfare. Get him out of the way.
But when you left office, then you could be tried.
Yeah.
So the Senate got a mob together, and because there was no weapons in Rome, so this mob was had, they'd broken off table legs and chair legs and stuff. So they're coming down to the Forum election day with all their clubs.
Yeah.
And then supporters of Tiberius are showing up to, defend him, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Apparently he went to election day, Tiberius, dressed in black.
Yeah.
Because it's if I'm not elected, I'm going to get killed.
Yeah.
In a mourning thing. And so he
melodramatic.
So essentially, the Senate mob, which supposedly some senators were partaking in this mob, beat Tiberius and his supporters to death with chair and table legs.
Yeah.
I don't know lots of people got killed in the Forum, and it must have been quite a shocking event, for a lot of people in Rome, because prior to that, there'd never been this kind of violence.
Yeah.
And
it's like the nothing ever happens, bros. Had a day where, oh shit, something's happened.
Yeah. and where it kind of relates to, obviously we don't have mobs. Sometimes there are mobs going down the street, but it sort of opened the floodgates of this violence. It normalized it. And then, 10 years later, Tiberius' younger brother, Caius, or Gaius, however you want to say it, he was running on a similar platform.
Yeah.
Similar thing happened to him, he got, and it just sort of over the next, 50, 60 years, it just escalated in violence. And then
is he the populist that had to leave the Senate or whatever in such a hurry, and he ended up getting his servant to, get him before the mob got him, and then because there was a bounty for his head, but it's in its weight, you'd get repaid in your weight in gold, and they scooped his brains out with a melon baller and filled it with lead. And was that?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
Which straight away, you turn up with the head, and you're like, well, here you go, I'd like its weight in gold, and obviously the person's like, no, you've filled it with lead. You're telling a fib.
And then over the next 50 or so years, there was just this escalation of political violence. The sullen civil war in the 80s/70s BC. There was all these heaps of people got killed for political reasons, and it obviously culminated in the the end of the Republic and the reforming into the empire. The political violence, once it was done, and kind of accepted it.
Yeah.
Like you say, it became normalized, and then it
Mm.
escalated.
Well, it's a
And-
tit for tat. I mean, it's not so much a tribal blood feud or, you know, debt to be paid like that, but it's a normalization of the. I mean, you see the same thing in Lebanon back in the 70s and 80s, and it's just as soon as, you know, one side loses their guy, then everyone kind of goes, all right, cool, it's fucking on then,
yeah,
you know.
it's kind of like there's like this there's an unspoken rule in modern society.
Mm.
I mean, it is spoken, but you don't kill people for expressing their opinions.
No.
But now it's kind of like, well, maybe you do.
Yeah.
And then that's normal. And so I wouldn't be surprised if you do see an escalation in this kind of violence over things. I don't, it's not a 1-for-1 comparison. I'm not,
Yeah.
you know, who knows? But I just think it's an interesting one that, you know, this is what happened when violence became part of the rhetoric.
Yeah.
And violence is becoming part of the rhetoric now.
Well, I mean, we live in a time and place where, and culturally speaking, we, air quotes, really value our free speech. But, you know, when you fucking knock off the talking guy, you know, who's obviously we've got disagreements, and the rhetoric on the left side of things has been very violent for the last 10 years or more, probably speaking, as long as I've been paying attention. But what's very concerning or interesting, I'm going to sort of tip my hat and go, oh, you know, scratch my chin. Now you've got people on the right who are now saying, I'm not arguing, I'm not trying to change hearts and minds anymore. I'm not.
They're calling for blood.
Yeah, it's I guess it's the fine line between justice and vengeance. You know,
but this is historyology, so you know we don't know the answers, but we will tell you about what the answers should be.
I'm right, you're wrong.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm not an animal. I'm not going to bash you over the head with a rock, but I may run you through with my bayonet.
Yeah, it's civilized. Or challenge you to a duel.
It's like the guillotine, or as the French, I think the translation, the national razor.
But we will pick this up again in part 2. Well, it's not really part 2 because I don't think we're skilled enough at crafting a 3-part series on this kind of thing. So in the next episode, we will talk about how this Charlie Kirk thing vaguely, just tugging on that very, very thin thread, relates to the fall of the Roman Empire.
This is going to get beautifully confusing if you edit and upload these videos out of sequence, like you usually do.
And I also think people are going to watch this. Someone's going to watch this.
Hi, Tim. Hi, Margie. Chris. The 3 of you.
And get to the end and just be like, what was the point of that? I didn't learn anything.
Oh, that's how Tristan and Alex, they're doing their thing. Oh, cool.
Just watch 2 dudes talk about absolute nonsense. But anyway.
Bad things are bad.